When it comes to the Star Wars franchise, there's definitely been some highlights since Lucasfilm was purchased by Disney. Pretty much everyone has said that they enjoy Rogue One. It was definitely well received. I mean, there are certain criticisms that pretty much everyone has about the movie, but most people really enjoy it. Solo's reception, I feel, was just lukewarm. Like, not great, not terrible, just right there in the middle. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, the movie was okay, but I'm not really gonna think about it much months after I've seen it. And then some of the TV shows have been really good. In particular, Andor is an incredibly well written show. Features great acting, great practical effects, real sets, on location shooting. Score is really good. The different arcs are all really good. And then season 7 of the Clone Wars was a really strong conclusion to that TV show. I think that the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian were good. Not like fantastic, there's certainly some issues there, but good. And then we've gotten Visions, Tales of the Jedi that I've enjoyed. Overall, I've enjoyed Bad Batch. But I think pretty much everyone can agree that as a whole, Star Wars hasn't been handled very well by Lucasfilm. One of the reasons for that is because they spectacularly mishandled the sequel trilogy. To me, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is just the ultimate example to look at when it comes to how not to do a trilogy. That's the ultimate example of why you need to know what you're going to do with a trilogy. You need to have a plan, a vision, a roadmap. Lucasfilm didn't have that. Kathleen Kennedy clearly had no clue what she was doing with the Star Wars sequel trilogy. They unnecessarily divided the fan base and thus reduced people's excitement for future Star Wars content. And then the TV shows have just been really inconsistent. We've gotten some great shows, again, Andor, but also some misfires like Book of Boba Fett, and a show like Kenobi that was a massive disappointment. And season 3 of The Mandalorian, I think, was a big disappointment because it felt like, the writing is suddenly not as good as it was before. It's not as sharp. It feels like the people who made this show got lazy when they reached season 3. They stopped writing the show as good. And then you combine all these things I just talked about with recent comments from Charbine Obaid-Chinoy, where she's just poking a beehive unnecessarily by saying, what we're going to do is very important. It's very important that a woman is finally going to step up to shape the story of Star Wars. As I talked about in a different video, that's a very stupid thing to say. She did not do Lucasfilm any favors by just reopening these issues that people have talked about before. One of the big problems of the sequel trilogy is that Kathleen Kennedy acted like it was such a big deal that Rey is going to be the main character. She was spreading around this narrative that, it's so important that a female character is the lead in a Star Wars trilogy. What we're doing here is so important. She's one of the first female heroes. Star Wars needs more women. And then, of course, there's also the narrative of, if you don't like Rey, you're just sexist. You can't stand women being in Star Wars. And I really am bothered by all this stuff. Because, you know what? I don't care if a woman is the main character in a Star Wars trilogy. I don't have a problem with that. Just like how I'm fine with a male character being the lead in a trilogy. Kathleen Kennedy shot Lucasfilm in the foot, shot herself in the foot by making these statements that try to present Rey being the lead in the sequel trilogy as this big revolutionary thing that's so important. It was a very unwise decision on our part. And then on top of that, overall, people are not as excited anymore because so many Star Wars announcements have happened. So many times we've heard Lucasfilm say, hey, a new project is coming from this person, and then that ends up falling through. Nothing ever comes of it. Therefore, people now are like, I don't trust Star Wars announcements from Lucasfilm because I don't believe they're going to happen. We've been burned so many times that I don't trust them anymore. And so Kathleen Kennedy has succeeded in burning trust with people as well as dividing fans. As I talked about in a different video, I am just astonished that she hasn't been fired yet, and she's done such a poor job as the president of Lucasfilm. And in general, the Star Wars franchise is just not as strong as it used to be. Back before The Rise of Skywalker came out, especially when The Force Awakens came out, people were excited about Star Wars. They're not as excited anymore, unfortunately. That's it for this video.